Hello, everybody. Welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and hi. I'm here to talk about A Song of Ice and Fire stuff. You know that. You clicked it. What's A Song of Ice and Fire? It's a book series. Go read it. Or watch the show, and then go read it. I talk about A Song of Ice and Fire characters. If you've never been here before, I cover like 2 characters a week nowadays. I just crank them out, man, and I'm having a lot of fun. And more people are watching them, and it's making me happy. I'm glad. If you're new here, freaking welcome, man. Tell me in the comments if it's the first time, and if you enjoy it, click like, subscribe, do all that junk, and yeah, welcome. Because we're talking about Gyles Rosby. That guy, the guy who coughs a lot. I'm coughing a lot right now. I kind of got a sore throat, so it's perfect to cover Gyles Rosby with a sore throat. I love the Miko's art. The Miko's so good, but yeah, our art for Gyles Rosby. So yeah, I do all these in one big long take. I just kind of rant at the screen. I just get it all done. I got these cards to keep me in track, and let's cover the coffinest, oldest man in King's Landing. So I'm kind of doing a King's Landing week. I covered Foley Stokeworth earlier in the weekend. Or I'm covering Gyles Rosby. So yeah, some Feast for Crows characters mostly. I mean, Gyles is around in the background throughout like all the books in King's Landing, but you know, when we really get those big Cersei chapters in Feast for Crows, we meet a lot of the court that just hangs around King's Landing. We get to see a lot more of them, and he's a hanger-oner. So yeah, let's talk about the Lord of Rosby. Gyles Rosby is the Lord of Rosby and the head of House Rosby. Gyles has no immediate heir, though he has a ward. We'll get to that. Gyles is an old, wealthy man. He is sickly and coughs constantly, including into a square pink silk, a square scarlet silk trimmed with gold lace, and a square of red silk. Don't ask how I know all these things. Like seriously, he coughs all the time. He's just a cougher. Lord Rosby owns a litter with rich carvings and silk draperies. There you go, draperies. It's like a tapestry, but a drapestry. Draperies. Thank you. According to Cersei Lannister, Gyles' horses are better dressed than most knights. Bro, besides his castle at Rosby, Gyles also has spacious apartments in the kitchen keep of King's Landing. Dang, sure, keep that sick guy with the food. Yeah, sure, why not? Keep the sick, coughing old guy with the food. Why not? We don't know about germs yet, do we? No, we haven't learned about them yet. All right. So my second slide, I usually cover the house. So cover House Rosby. House Rosby is a noble house from the Crownlands. They rule Castle Rosby and its village. It's got a village, which are located northwest of King's Landing. House Rosby is one of the first houses to yield peacefully to House Targaryen during Aegon's conquest, surrendering to Rhaenys Targaryen and Meraxes. Rosby's lands became part of the Crownlands, surrendering to King's Landing. Yeah, so Crownlands, when freaking Aegon the Conqueror landed, you know, one of his sister wives showed up with one of his sister wife dragons, and it's like, hey, Neil. And House Rosby was like, yeah, okay. Dragons. Dang. All right, let's get into some history for this old coughing fool. Long and boring life. Gyles has been married at least twice, but remains childless. The aunt of his second wife is a Lady Tanda Stokeworth. So Lady Tanda, so I just covered Felice Stokeworth. Lady Tanda's niece, he married her once. All right, cool. Who herself is a third cousin to Gyles. Gotta love that incest, yo. Duran Martell is all right, that's not like hardcore or anything, but still, everyone's related. That's all you got to know about the High Lords, is all the High Lords are somehow related. Yeah, like, even friggin' Robert Baratheon and what's his name? Rhaegar Targaryen were cousins. They're all related. All right. Doran Martell, in attempts to keep his daughter unmarried by only suggesting bad choices, once suggested Lord Rosby as a potential husband for Princess Arya Martell. That's why I got her art up here. That's why I got Arya Martell. Imagine if Arya Martell married Gyles Rosby. That'd be pretty funny. So yeah, I don't want to talk too much about Doran Martell, but since Doran Martell had plans with his plans for marrying his daughter off to a Targaryen of some sort, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, how come you're not trying to get me married?" He would like try to hook her up with the worst choices, and one of them was Gyles Rosby. All right. During the war, Lord Gyles remains at the court in King's Landing when fighting breaks out in the Riverlands. He attends the tourney, King Joffrey's name day, and tries to cheer on Prince Tommen Baratheon when the boy rides against a Quintain, which is just a fake person, right? Just a straw person, a strawman, good old strawman. House Strawman. During a small supper held by Lady Tanda Stokeworth, Lord of Rosby leads a toast to King Joffrey. Good for him. When he receives a copy of Stannis Baratheon's letter concerning the illegitimacy of Queen Regent Cersei Lannister's children with King Robert, Gyles forwards it to the small council. What did I just say? Well, you know how they found out that Stannis is putting out like a bunch of pamphlets that are saying, "Hey, dude, the Baratheon kids, not Baratheons, bastards. Nope, just Cersei's banging Jaime." When that pamphlet gets sent out, Gyles is like, cough, 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 cough. "The Queen, here, I got this sent to me," and forwards it to her. Forwards it like an email. Yeah. All right. Due to the War of the Five Kings, King's Landing is supplied mainly by House Rosby and Stokeworth, for their lands are far enough away from the fighting to be untouched by the war and really close to King's Landing. Gyles is present when Tyrion Lannister offers his terms of peace to Sir Cleos Frey to take back to Robb Stark, King in the North. Lord Gyles survives the riots in King's Landing after the royal procession sees Princess Marcella Baratheon off the door. Upon returning to the Red Keep, Gyles mentions that he saw the High Septon get overran by the mob. So, if you guys haven't noticed yet, this dude's just like around. Like, he's just around in the background. He's just there for all the really interesting stuff that happened. And yeah, during the riots, he's the one who reports that the High Septon gets just torn to pieces, which is brutal. Brutal. All right. King Tommen at Rosby. After the riots, Cersei fears at her son's life and decides to send Prince Tommen in secret to Rosby, dressing him as a page and putting him under the protection of Gyles. Tyrion, of course, finds out about the plan from a little Lancel Lannister. Little Lancel Lannister. That's his hip hop name. Little Lancel. Little Lance. Little Lance. I like it. Little Lance. All right. Little Lance. However, so yeah, Tyrion finds out from Little Lance and has Gyles and his entourage intercepted on the road by Sir Jacelyn Bywater and his 50 men. Tyrion later decides to release Gyles to appease Cersei. What did I just say? So this is like a really big plot point, right? So she wants to hide Tommen somewhere. Also kind of so Tyrion doesn't sink his hooks in, but also to just keep him safe. But she's afraid that Tyrion's going to sink his hooks into Tommen. So when she sends him away, Tyrion finds out because little Lance told him, and he intercepts them on the road like Jocelyn. He sends Jocelyn Bywater and 50 men, that's a King of the Hill reference, to intercept, and they take over, but they still bring him to Rosby, but they send Gyles Rosby back, and essentially they're still gonna Tyrion likes the idea that Tommen is being held somewhere else, but he wants to be in control. So he makes his men be the people who holds him at Rosby. So Tommen, for a long part of the show, for that little bit of that book is held at Rosby. Yeah, I'm not done yet. All right. Prince Tommen Baratheon's held at Rosby on Tyrion Lannister's command to keep the royal family spread apart, to make it harder for Stannis Baratheon to end his claims of Cersei Lannister's children on the Iron Throne. Boros Blount is held in Rosby's dungeon for surrendering Tommen to Jacelyn Bywater without a fight. Because he just gave it like Jacelyn, good old Iron Hand, who I've done a video on, by the way, shows up and he's like, give us the kid. And Boros Blount, who I've also done a video on, is like, all right, fine. You can have him. Y'all got food? Boros is like me. He's a chubby boy. I'm a chubby boy, too. Master of Coin. After the funeral of Lord Tywin Lannister, Gyles tells Queen Regent Cersei he has commissioned a statue of Lord Tywin to be placed by the Lion Gate in King's Landing. Aw, isn't that cool? Putting up statues of jerks. Rosby's coughing has gotten much worse, and he's beginning to cough up blood. Uh-oh. That's not just a normal cough. That's a bad cough. All right. Cersei learns that Tywin had named Garth Tyrell to become the new Master of Coin in order to prevent another Tyrell from joining the small council. She lies to Lord Mace Tyrell, telling him that she already named Lord Gyles as the new Master of Coin to the small council instead. I think that was just like the first name she thought of. Like, there's no way she wanted Gyles on there, but she's like, no, we can't have your cousin. Like, well, your father, before he died, said, and she's like, no, I named him. I already named one. It's like, oh, really? Yeah, it's Gyles. Yeah. Oops. All right. Lord Rosby attends the wedding of King Tommen Baratheon and Lord Marjorie, the royal sept. That's nice of him. Gyles attends to replace many officials, or intends. There you go. Gyles intends to replace many officials who have been appointed by Lord Peter Baelish, and Cersei has him finance Qyburn's experiments on Lord Gregor Clegane. Cersei styles Lord Rosby as the Lord Treasurer. So she kind of like renames the entire small council when she's Queen Regent. She Lord Admiral instead of Master of Ships, Lord Treasurer instead of Master of Coin, and Judiciary or whatever instead of Master of Laws. It's just something I have to say. He's around. This is if the rest of the slides weren't just like something important and Gyles is there, this whole slide is something important and Gyles is there. All right. During the Battle of the Blackwater, this is out of order. Oh my God. I read it out of order. Oh my God. All right. So this is going to be leading up to Tywin's death. Is that going to be too confusing for you guys? So this is all the stuff that he was like in the background of before Tywin's death. So during the Battle of Blackwater, Lord Rosby stays in the ballroom with Cersei and other noble ladies. He drinks too much and passes out in a trencher of hollowed bread, which disgusts Cersei. It disgusts me too. After the Battle of Blackwater, Cersei sends the Kettleblack brothers to Rosby to recover Tommen and free Boros. Well, that's nice. Gyles is an attendant of the wedding of Sansa Stark and Tyrion Lannister. Lord of Rosby accompanies Tyrion when he is sent to meet the delegation from Dorne. Tyrion displaces Rosby of his suspicious apartments at so he boots him from his apartments, the kitchen keep of Red Keep. During the wedding feast for King Joffrey and Marjorie Tyrell, a melon lands on Lord of Rosby's lap when the dwarfs reenact the war. Well, that's really interesting. He got hit by melon. I'll write that down. Well, I did. Joffrey later chokes to death during the feast, of course. Gyles is called to witness as witness for the prosecution in the trial for Tyrion for Joffrey's death, and he tells how he saw Tyrion fill the wedding chalice. All right, Sorry. I don't edit these. I read that out of order. I hope that wasn't too confusing for you guys. So all that was leading up to this slide for Lord Tyrion or Tywin's death, and then ends with him being named the Lord Treasurer. So what's next for this guy? Well, he coughs himself to death. He did. All right. Noho Dimitis, an envoy from the Iron Bank of Bravos, meets with Gyles 6 times. Noho is irate when he learns from Cersei that she would spend all her payments on the that she would suspend all payments on the loan from the Iron Bank until the War of the Five Kings is over. The envoy hounds Gyles so much that he takes to his bed from coughing up blood. So the envoy from the Iron Bank is just hounding on Gyles until Gyles gets sicker and sicker and sicker. Fearing that the Tyrells will force Garth as the new Lord Treasurer of Rosby dies, or Gyles dies. I'm coughing like Gyles Rosby now. I'm going to take a drink of water. Oh, all right. Fearing that Lord Tyrell will force Garth on as the new Lord Treasurer, Cersei orders Pycelle to keep Lord of Rosby alive despite the Grand Maester's treatments. However, Gyles is overcome by his sickness and dies at the Red Keep. Cersei threatens Pycelle by I can't even talk. Holy crap. By saying that he killed Lord Rosby, manipulating the Grand Maester against her rivals, Marjorie Tyrell. All right, whatever. I don't know why I wrote that sentence so confusing and why I'm coughing like Gyles Rosby. But she says Pycelle killed Gyles Rosby because he's working for the Tyrells. That's what she accuses Pycelle. So Gyles does not leave behind an immediate heir, but he does have a ward at Rosby. Cersei claims that that Lord Rosby's wish was to leave the lands and wealth to her son King Tommen. Just why not? Cersei names Sir Harry Swift as the new Lord Treasurer, who I've also covered already. 6 claims have been put forward for Rosby's inheritance. So let's cover that. So sorry about all the coughing. Sorry I got one of those things mixed up. So normally at the end, I usually try to find some symbolism or if there's any theories. And the only thing that I could really find when I dug into Gyles Rosby was his ward, because no one knows who he is. He's just named Ward. So if you watch my last video with Foley Stokeworth, she got sent away after, like, she tries to stop at Castle Rosby and the ward's like, no, get. So we don't really know who the ward is. And this is some stuff. So who is the Ward of Rosby? There are no fan theories about Gyles that I could find. He isn't secretly Cersei's dad or a Targaryen or anything. One theory I found was claiming that Oliver Frey, so a Frey, is the Lord of Rosby. These are the reasons for it. Oliver is related to Gyles Rosby. Oliver's mother, Bethany, was born a Rosby. And as some of Oliver's relatives have been fostered, their maternal family members' houses. Like Merritt Frey was fostered with the Craycall, so on and so forth. Born in 281 AC, Oliver would have reached the age of majority and thus be able to make decisions without the approval of a Castellan if he was a ward. Some reasons against it. He wouldn't allow Stokeworth to stop by. There is no beef, as far as I can tell, between the Freys and the Stokeworths. So yeah. Fully, Stokeworth calls Rosby an ill-born wrench, possibly suggesting of low birth and not being a member of a noble house. Maybe ill-born just because the Freys are kind of disliked because they're kind of like new money, even though they're not. But they've only came up the last couple hundred years and not like 1,000 years. They're not that kind of a noble house. But still, ill-born usually means like a peasant. And he's not a peasant. He's a Frey. Cersei, so last one. Cersei claims that the ward is not of a Rosby's blood, though not of Rosby's blood could indicate that the ward does not have a descent straight from Rosby, although he could just be related in other ways, like, yeah, because it's from a female line. All in all, I don't see the point, and I don't really think it fits. Yeah, I don't see the point in Oliver Frey being the Ward of Rosby. Like, I don't know what that really does for the story. I don't know who the ward is. I have no clue. But if it is Oliver Frey, cool. But I just like, is it? I don't know. I don't see it. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I got. I'm sorry I started coughing up. I'm sorry I read one of those out of order, but that's Gyles Rosby, guys. And yeah, this was a King's Landing week. I did Fully Stokeworth, covered Fully Stokeworth, and then I did Gyles Rosby. So thank you for watching. If this is your first time watching, let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, and welcome to my channel. And if this isn't your first time, well, welcome back, buddy. All right. Bye.